3, y'all. Look, I'm the dude that get on these lives realistically. The information that you normally would pay for if I know it, y'all, you're getting it for free. Um, some of the ground rules before we get, all into this right now. What's up, family from Kansas City? What's happening? Look, today is another day down for the year of 2024. For those of you, today Tuesday. Man, I'm bugging. Today is Tuesday. My days are running together. Beautiful Tuesday, then. Beautiful Tuesday. Appreciate that. But what have y'all accomplished so far this year? Have you put things into perspective that you need to put in perspective? What's up, family? Hope all is well. What's up, fam? Have you put things into perspective that need to be put in perspective already? Have you started taking the steps necessary for you to get to whatever journey you need to get to? Good evening. Have you done your due diligence, right? That you say you have to do and that you do every single time when you do stuff, right? Think about that for a second. If you have not, what are you waiting for? Nothing's stopping you but you at this point. There are a lot of things, I would say, that are going on in today's world to keep you occupied from doing these things. I get that, right? But why not occupy your day and your headspace with things that are beneficial towards you? Think about that for a second. Think about that for a second. So here's what I want you all to think about. And I really, really want you to think about it if you can, respectfully, right? Think about where you want to be in the next 6 to 12 months. Where exactly do you want to be? What all the things that are going to be required for you to get there? What are going to be the things that are going to be necessary for you to hit whatever target it is that you put out there? And once you figure out what are the necessary targets, give yourself a deadline for you to take the first step. Now, I know a lot of times when those questions are asked, we have all these different things in our head on what we want to do, but this just good conversation, right? I'm talking about where you really want to be. And if it's really where you want to be, what steps are you really taking? Think about that for a second. Think about that for 1 second. And how serious are you about it? Me and my homeboy, we talk, we don't talk every day, but we talk a good amount of time throughout the week. And when we talk a good amount of times throughout the week, we talk about things like, hey, where you want to be in the near future. And he have all these random thoughts. You want to move out the country. What's up, family? Want to move out of the country. Want to be financially free. And then when I ask, what have you done to do these things? Nothing ever really come into fruition because there's not necessarily any steps that's being taken. I think most people in the world on this planet is just like my homeboy. They have dreams of being in different places and doing different things without taking the necessary steps. Make that make sense? Make that make sense? And I think that just me, if you're gonna make these dreams up in your head, spend the time thinking about it, wouldn't it be great if you just did something about it? Wouldn't it be great if you did do something about it that you seen the results? versus every year coming up with the same or similar type plan and getting the same results because you're doing the same thing? Nothing. Look, y'all, it's later for the excuses. If you have an excuse in 2024 on why you're not doing the things that you say you really want to do, stop saying you want to do things, y'all. You really don't. You just want to talk. You just want to be a part of a conversation when those conversations happen so somebody can regurgitate. Such and such said they want to go to Japan. Such and such said they're going to be financially free. It's a good talking point, but the same results happen every single year. It's almost like making a New Year's resolution. 99% of the people on this planet made a New Year's resolution and they already have failed at their New Year's resolution because they didn't even take the first step. Think about that for a second. When are you going to be a grown up and understand that when you want to do things, you have to make a sacrifice in order to get these things accomplished? And if you don't want to make the sacrifice, stop wasting people time telling them things. It don't even matter. It's irrelevant. You're just flat out lying to yourself because don't nobody else believe you or believe you. The only person that know that you're lying is you. It's time to get out your own way, people. That's why this year, when you make any form of plan that you make, if no one's told you this or you haven't told yourself this already, just take the first step. That's the biggest part of everyone's problem. No one wants to take the first step. And that's the part that's crazy to me. So I'm going to say this and I'm going to say it proudly. If you are one of those people that have taken the first step, shout out to y'all. Not as scary as you thought, right? If you are one of those people that took the first step, the next thing is to take the next step. Just keep stepping, one foot in front of the other. And by your target date, I promise you, you will be a lot further ahead than what you would have been if you had not started off. Now, that is just common sense. Let's talk about some of the execution portion of it, right? Because I think this is where people they get a little sidetracked. Can I refer you to a real estate investor? No, I can't refer you to nobody. Those are people you have to vet out yourself. And it's not that hard to do. Just figure out what you need from them and start making some calls. If they have offices that you can go into the office and meet with them, sit down, talk to them, and then do a little background check on them just to make sure it ain't nobody that's being shafty. But you got to identify what you need a real estate investor for. Because you might be creating a bill for something you can do yourself. So just process it. A lot of times when we look for other people to give referrals, I'm gonna be honest with you. Most of the time, it be things you can accomplish yourself, y'all. Don't be psyched out by these titles. These titles are irrelevant. They don't mean nothing. Some of the titles do, don't get me wrong. But most of these titles that people then came up with that we determine on how much respect we're going to give them, right? It don't really matter. Life insurance company, go same conversation, right? Look at all the big companies. I don't know, State Farm, Allstate, Omaha Mutual, whatever big company it is out there. Go look at them. Set up some appointments with these brokers and these agents at these companies. Tell them to give you some illustrations based off of what you can afford every single month. And once you've done that, make the decision on what's best for you. Think about that for a second. You don't want my recommendation on which company to go with because maybe what I'm trying to do might be different than what you're doing. What do I mean by that? You might need to have a company that's realistically where you're going to get you a $250,000 policy that has a cash value on it, right? They might not service, I don't want to call them jumbo policies, but they might not service $5, $10 million policies at that company. It's possible. They don't. So you just got to vet them out and see what's best for yourself. Hopefully that helps. But the other thing is, y'all, if you ain't paying attention to all the things that are happening right now, because you're distracted, we know it. But if you're not paying attention to all the things that are transpiring right now, you got to wake up. You got to wake up. What's up, family? You 100% got to wake up. I'm not going to talk about relationships because I don't want to talk about it. I don't like talking about that. But it goes in line with what I'm about to say. People are chasing these dreams from people that they idolize. Now, whether that's them looking for a relationship, whether that's what they deem success, whether that's whatever it is, you're idolizing people from a distance and you have no idea what that person is going through. You have no idea what type of situation they in at all. You just got the illusion and that's what you're chasing. What do I mean when I say that? Ladies, I'm not a woman, so I'm not going to speak for you, but just outside looking in, stop looking for a man that fits these celebrities. Stop looking for your perfect man, no matter who it is, whether it's Drake, whether it's Idris Elba, whether it's Denzel Washington, whether it's Tom Cruise, whether it's Brad Pitt. I'm just going through a list real quick, y'all. Stop looking at these people thinking that my relationship, I need a man like that. You have no idea what type of man that is. If Puffy didn't teach y'all that, I don't know what will. Hopefully y'all caught that. Because what you might be chasing is somebody that ain't really interested in you no way. And I'm not just talking about you're not in their tax bracket. I'm not talking about you're not smart enough. They might not be interested in you at all because you're a woman. Fellas, I can't speak for all of us, but I gotta say this to you too. Stop chasing the illusion of the Instagram models. I'm gonna say that again a little bit louder. Stop chasing the illusion of the Instagram models. If you notice back in the day, and everybody's welcome and it's a place of love, but let me say this out loud. The people that was getting these BBLs, it wasn't the women that you are accustomed to being with. I'm gonna say that again. I'm an old fool. But the people that was getting those surgeries when the women that you was accustomed to. And you wondering why you're running into these Barbie dolls. I'm gonna keep my mouth closed. I don't want to go too far with that one, but y'all understand what I'm saying. I hope y'all just heard what I just said. The point that I'm making is you have this illusion that you're chasing, and realistically, you don't even know what it is. So what transpired is, ladies and gentlemen, when you're chasing these different illusions, ladies, when a man really show up, guess what? You don't know how to identify him, because what you've been chasing has been somebody that don't want you anyway. And fellas, when a woman show up, you don't know how to identify her, because what you've been chasing ain't been real either. Why is that important? Because you put your level of what you think success is in these same individuals. And it's all an illusion, y'all. You think these people got all this wealth. You think these people got all the success on the planet, and they're just another person. My homeboy told me today, man, I can't believe that Puffy going broke. I said, that man ain't going broke. He ain't going broke at all. Man, he got $140,000 in debt for mortgages. Why he just didn't buy it? Well, that's good business move, I guess. But why does it matter if he broke or not? Who cares? Why does that impact you? Because they be making us think they got all this money. That's the problem. You falling for the illusion. Ain't none of it real. Ain't none of it real, y'all. None of it. You have no clue what a person is really worth, because we have seen, and I showed y'all over 1,000,000 times, what's in Google is what you put in Google, boys and girls. Nothing more, nothing less. That's the truth. So in one breath, you think the level of success is what? Go out and get you a big necklace. Go get you a nice ride. Go out here and get you a nice car. Go get fresh and take some major trips and go to some fancy restaurants and take some pictures. This is what you think success is. Have it never really dawned on y'all before that even when you hear these celebrities brag about the money that they do make, whenever you get the opportunity to hear them to talk about money, they always talk about 6 figures a year? I'm going to say that again. You can go throughout the entire social media at any time you want to go through and just fact check what I'm saying. Anytime you hear a celebrity talk, they'll talk about their net worth, the overall number, right? But when they start talking about earnings in a year, they be talking about 6 figures a year, y'all. Why is that? You make 6 figures a year, at least that's what you tell us. And the reason why you tell us you make 6 figures a year, because that's what the world has told you is the number you need to make. Imagine a person that's not a celebrity generating 8 figures a year, and you ain't ever heard of them. But your person that you idolize, that you deem successful, they brag about 6 figures a year, show you some jewelry, some nice clothes, and a nice Airbnb. Stop being distracted by all the nonsense, y'all. Ain't none of this stuff real. None of it. The people that's really out here getting it the way you assume your favorite idolized person that you're idolizing, that stuff ain't pretty, y'all. Ain't none of it pretty. And I can assure you, they not wasting their money on nonsense either. They not going out buying things just to show you. Just not gonna do it, y'all. It doesn't even make logical sense. So what am I saying? No matter if you're looking for a relationship, no matter if you're looking for some target to deem as what success look like, stop idolizing and looking towards these people that you ain't never met and look them in their eyeballs. Please. That includes me, y'all. I'm not off the table. For those that do know me, maybe that's a different situation. But for those that ain't never met me personally, don't idolize what I do. Go get it yourself. That way you ain't got to idolize nobody. You can go get it yourself. Think about that for a second. This is how this stuff works, y'all. This is how this stuff is. It blows my mind how many people come into my live. I'm on 6 different platforms right now. But it blows my mind on how many people come in my live and say, you should talk to this person. You should go check this person out. You should go check that person out. They never say check themselves out. They tell me to go check somebody else out. How long are you going to keep bragging about somebody else that you ain't ever met? Stop. Think about that for a second. Don't you want to be the person that people can say they need to come check you out? And if you do want to be the person to be out there that people need to say they need to go check you out, guess what? You can be that person. You just got to take some steps. Y'all, this stuff ain't that hard. It ain't that complicated. I'm saying a bunch of educated people bragging about people that the only thing these people then did is took some action. That's it. That's the only thing they did is take some action, y'all. Think about that for a second. And then put in your head, just for a second, the target that you've been hearing from every single body that you telling to go check out is 6 figures a year. This mysterious $100,000 a year, or 200, or 300. When are these people going to show you how to generate 7 figures a year? It ain't that difficult. When are they going to show you how to generate 8 figures, 9 figures, 10 figures? When are they going to show you all this success that you have in your head that you think is real about these other people that ain't even close to being real? I was on this social audio app. Not always be in and out these social audio apps because they be having some good conversations sometimes, and then sometimes it just be nonsense. But this one young man on there always bragging about how much money he got. And the one thing that I understand when people start bragging about how much money they got, they probably ain't got no money at all. They probably ain't got it at all. They just ain't. And as he was talking, he made the statement of that he comes from wealth. What's up, family? And I said, oh, this should be interesting because he come from wealth. You know, taking his word. I'm just sitting and listening. I ain't saying that, but I'm thinking it. He comes from wealth. This should be good. He said, y'all up here talking crazy. My mom and dad leaving me land when they leave. I said, oh, he about to be on it. So somebody asked the young man, they leaving who to land? He said, me, my sister, and my brother. He said, my mom and dad been getting money, and I get money too. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, he a little young, but this got to be interesting because he said he comes from wealth. He said his mom and dad, when they leave the planet, they leaving him, his brother and sister, a total of a half an acre to them. Now, ain't nothing wrong with that because any amount of land you got is a lot of land. Don't get it twisted. But people's definition of what they think is wealth is and what they think success is can be very different than what you believe and what you think. And if you don't believe me, You've been on my lives long enough. We on 70 weeks of going live. You done heard everybody and their mama come in my live and tell me they got a better way and they making so much money. And then when I ask them how much money they make, it's either crickets or it's that infamous 6 figures a year. Because that's the illusion that's been created, y'all. That's the illusion. Even if we want to make these numbers sound tremendously huge, you got some actors that makes $100,000 an episode, right? And if it's not in syndication and they're not the main character, they ain't even making that, right? But imagine you making $100,000 an episode, and you only in 5 episodes. That's great. You made $500,000, but you got to look the part now, right? If you go out and buy a house cash, at that point, you're broke. Because out of that 500 grand, you giving up out of the gate 200,000. That leaves you with 300 grand. And I don't know where y'all live at, but down here in good old Georgia, and I'm sure it's like that in every state across America, you really can't find no nice house under 400K. So what happens? They have to figure out how to do odd end jobs to still get some money so they can live life. Think about what I'm saying, y'all. Think about how you look at these R&B artists, country artists, rock and roll artists, rappers, whoever you want to call them. They go and get these big old contracts, these big old checks that they got to pay back. And then they be broke. All I'm trying to get you to understand is this, y'all. Stop falling in love with these people that you ain't ever met. Stop idolizing their success because their success might not even be success. Because what I'm starting to understand, even for some of these billionaires that are out here, the minute they don't do something right, they get shut down. We learned that with Kanye, worth $11 billion, and within 24 hours shut them down to 400 million. How, Sway? How? Explain that to me. Explain it. Because the reality of it is, it's just an illusion. Imagine 12, 13, 14, 15 years ago, ladies, y'all were in love with Mr. Will Smith. Shout out to him for whatever he decides to do. But shout out to him. And then when y'all found out all this stuff about Will Smith, guess what's happening? I knew it was this. I knew it was that. No, you didn't. That's the man that was the perfect man to you. That's who you were looking for. Think about that for a second. Think about that for 1 second. Imagine, fellas, I don't want to say it, but I got to. You are there saying, back in my day, I need me a Holly Berry. And then you find out Holly Berry can't keep a man. Imagine today, your younger fella saying, I need me a Rihanna. I need me a Beyonce. And then you find out what you find out about them, and you realize that ain't what you really want. But the problem is, ladies and gentlemen, you're looking for these things. So when real people show up in front of you, you don't know how to identify them. You have no clue. I don't know what you're talking about, family. So you asked me if I saw your message because you wanted my attention. User 283. I have no clue what you're talking about, family. You don't have enough people to go live yet, do you? User 283422231920 need 1,000 people to go live. Y'all help him get to 1,000 so he can put a profile picture up and go live. Hopefully that helps your family. Mel, you need 1,000? Let's get Mel up to 1,000. The new currency is attention. The new currency is attention, y'all. Well, if you follow me, then you know. I'm not necessarily filling a void. Not necessarily. I get on here to give y'all free information while I show y'all my pretty clothes and my pretty shoes. And then I expense it. I'm not on here because I'm bored. Not for real. Zabel 103 is also one of my businesses. So what does that mean? These are all business expenses that you see. Think about that for a second. Oh, because you're bored. Oh, okay. I get it. What I'm saying is, instead of getting bored, let's get productive. Let's get productive. Now, you're sure you can't go live on TikTok. Go live on IG. Go live on IG. You can go live right now. Boom, just like that. Go live. You got products that you're selling? Go sell your products on IG. Go sell your products on Facebook, on YouTube, wherever. It don't matter. What up, family? Well, it's kind of hard. Well, I can say kind of hard. I will never elaborate on all the different businesses that I do because some of the businesses, while they're legal, they're not social media friendly. So if you have like more of a direct question around something that you want to know, maybe I can elaborate more on that. But it's kind of hard to go through all those businesses. It's 11 of them right now. 11 different businesses. And we're going to add some more. Because I'm going to be honest with y'all. And I think User just said it. Shout out to him or her. Not sure. Right? But User just said, when I get bored, I go into thinking. When I get bored, I go into doing research. And something got to come out of that. When I get bored, I'm thinking. I'm sitting down all by myself, brainstorming and thinking at that point, because I got it's something I got to get going. Why am I doing that? Because I work for my last name and not my first. You get it? I get out here and I try to put pieces together because I don't have time to get bored. We only on this planet for a finite amount of time. I don't have time to get bored and get entertained. Forget all that. When I get bored, I'm like, up is something else I can be doing. Yesterday, I was bored out my mind. So guess what I did? I didn't pop on live yesterday. For those that be hopping on my live every day, I didn't pop on live yesterday when I got bored. I started brainstorming. I was thinking for like 4 hours yesterday. And then I went and did like 2.5 hours worth of research. And I came up with something else. And I said to myself, we're going to put that in motion just that quick. Think about that for a second. When I get on live, I'm conducting business. When I go live, I'm conducting business. It ain't really work, but I'm conducting business. Think about that for a second. Just wrap your brain around that little small piece of information that you just got right there. Why do I do that? Because I believe no matter what the situation is, I always got to be taking steps. This is how you get these different wins. Think about that. Think about that for a second. But other than that, y'all, look, what success is to me might not be success to you, and vice versa. What you might want to do in your life, like how we talked about the other day, your target number might be, I need to have $100,000 a year to live off of. I'm going to be on this planet for another 40 years. I need to go out and get me $4 million. It might take you a year or two to get $4 million. However long it take you to get that $4 million, go get it as quick as you can so you can do nothing, if that's what you want to do. And that might be okay. But I'm of the belief for the next 1,000 years, everybody in my bloodline got to get the same experience, not to the T. They got to get the same experience in life of having that head start so they have time to think. So what do I have to do? I have to constantly be putting things in position to make sure that on that time frame for the next 1,000 years, everybody in my bloodline have their head start so they have time to think. I train my kids that way. I soon to be training my grandkids that way. And if the good Lord willing, I'll be training my great grandkids that way. What does that mean, y'all? It means a lot. Because if I train them that way, they will train their kids. They'll train their kids, and they'll train their kids. And we'll just keep training a generation of kids to adapt the philosophy. So it's second nature when they actually have to do stuff. That makes me immortal, y'all. That's my goal. Why? Because I'm the one giving them a head start. This is how this stuff works. And if you can't understand that, then hey, look, I ain't mad at you. That's my vision. It might not be yours. Your vision might be, I just want to sit at the house and chill on my front porch and be nosy, chill in my backyard and plant my little garden. Take a few trips throughout the year and relax. These kids got to figure out how to get it the same way I had to figure out how to get it. That might be your vision, and that's okay too. There is no right or wrong on how you want to live your life as long as it's legal. Because if it's not legal and you get caught, guess what's happening? Someone else gonna tell you and make you live the life that they want you to live. That's the truth. But who hears that? But it all starts with that first step, y'all. It all starts with that first step. So don't be afraid to get out here and say, hey, I need to do this. Hey, I need to do that. Hey, I'm going to do this. Hey, I did this today. Hey, I'm doing this tomorrow. Hey, tomorrow's here. I just did this. Start making moves, y'all. This stuff ain't complicated. What's up, family? So look, I popped on here for a second because I know I wasn't on here that long. I wasn't on here yesterday at all. I also know that people were asking me infamous question around we what was in my, it was, I can't even explain how it was in my inbox. It was odd. What's public and what's business? We didn't talked about it 100 times, and I know it's probably somebody new that probably ain't been on my live, but just to kind of make it simple, if it's public, it goes in your business. If it's private, it goes in your trust. That's the simplest way to put it, y'all. Now, you might combine some of those different things depending on how much money you're generating, right? Your business might not be generating enough money to feed all your employees, but you might want to consider, if you're the only employee and your business making money and you still buying food, right? You might want to consider your business buying their employees meals every day. You're an employee. Don't get it twisted. Don't get wrapped up in that title. Hopefully that makes sense. Maybe you haven't made it to the step where you got your own trust yet. Maybe you ain't made it to the step where you got your own business, and that's okay too. But maybe you got to make it a point to make those things happen, because operating that way puts you at an advantage over most people. That's just the truth. Money definitely gives you time to think. It does. I will say that even when you don't have money, though, you still actually have time to think, y'all. Think of it this way. How does most people days go? Like, really, right? If you got a 9-to-5 job and you got to go into the office, or you got to go to work, you got to drive to work and all this other stuff, right? You get up super early in the morning, you get your kids ready, you get your kids off to school, if you have kids, right? Then you head to work. You get that 10-minute break or the 2 15-minute break, right? And then an hour lunch or a 30-minute lunch. And then you get off work, right? When you get off work, you ride back, you go pick the kids up from aftercare if you have kids. If you don't, then you just head home. Once you get home, if you have kids, you help them with their homework, possibly, right? You cooking dinner, possibly, right? You're getting the kids ready for bed. And then you winding down, getting yourself ready for bed, right? You're watching your show, you go to sleep, and you do it all over again. And then on the weekend, you have an idea of things you want to do, but you really be too tired to do anything. Well, you have to maximize your time that you currently have. Your drive from home to dropping the kids off to work, that's really your time to think. Don't close your eyes when you're doing it, but you got time to think right now, y'all. That's time to think, because your kids in the back seat doing what? Whatever they doing. You in the front seat, you might not be having no conversation with your kids on the way to school. There's a great chance you not. There's a great chance your kid in the back with their phone. That's the truth. Once you dropped your kids off and you on your way to work, it's just you in the car. You got time to think, y'all. Now, you ain't got time to write stuff down and do all of that stuff, but you got time to think. When you get to work and you get that 10-minute break or that 15-minute break, what you were thinking about on your ride to work, write that stuff down. When you go to break, your first 10 to 15-minute break. When you go to lunch, whether it's 30 minutes or an hour, if it's 30 minutes, take 15 minutes and do a little quick research on what you were thinking about, what you wrote down. If you got an hour, take 45 minutes to write down and do some research. Your last 10-minute break, think about what you did research. Think about that for a second. When you get off work from your way home, work, to picking up your kids, guess what you're doing? You back thinking again. When you get home, you got to tend to the kids. You got to do these things. You have no choice. While you cooking, you could probably do a lot of thinking when you cooking. Why? You know what you're making. You know how to make it. You can do that with your eyes closed. You're thinking. Once you get the kids situated for bed and you get yourself situated for bed, instead of you turning on a TV to watch your show, do some more research. Now, after you've done this maybe a week or two, now you're going to start taking action. So maybe on your lunch break during the week, guess what you're doing? You might pick up the phone and make some calls, taking some action. You might ride to a place that's probably 5-10 minutes from your job to go and fulfill that research you just done. What's up, family? You got time to think. On the weekend, yeah, you're going to be tired, but you ain't too tired to eat. You still eat on the weekend. You ain't too tired to watch your shows on the weekend. You ain't too tired to go over somebody's house or go to a little event or whatever. You got plenty of time. On Sundays, you got a bunch of time, but you so distracted about your work week that you ain't thinking. Stop being distracted by your work week and let your work week be your work week and spend that time doing some more research and thinking. And then take some action. If you think, do research, and take action, it will put you in a position to do what? To get more time, because time, having it, the byproduct of it is money. Think about that for a second. So don't be afraid to make the sacrifices of things that you just naturally do, thinking you ain't got no time because your show coming on. You ain't got no time because you just need to have a drink and wind down. You ain't got time to waste. We only on this planet for a finite amount of time, y'all. And I can assure you, as a person that got 6 kids, my oldest 25 and my youngest 5, I can assure you, your kids will repeat everything you say and they will do what they see you do. You ain't started your own business yet. You're not in that realm yet, conducting business. If your child just see you work their whole life, trust me, they gonna be workers. Flat out. They gonna be workers. You can thank yourself for that. But think for a second. You ain't made it to this point yet. Imagine if your kids saw you in the room, no TV on. You got the laptop up doing research. They come over, they gonna be nosy. They look over there and it ain't something on YouTube or TikTok or Instagram or whatever, right? And it's like, mommy, daddy, what you doing? I'm doing a little bit of research. Imagine they see you start doing this stuff. What are you doing research for? Well, I'm in the process of putting this together. Here's all the things that I done did. When they see that stuff, again, they repeat what you say and they do what they see you do. Even if you're not there yet, you're getting them in the mindset of this is what they need to be doing. They didn't saw you bust your butt and be so tired, telling their other little brother, hey, come in here with me. Mommy tired. Daddy tired. Leave them alone. Get them a minute. Think, y'all. You always got time, boys and girls. Don't ever get that twisted. You always got time. In fact, that's the only thing you do have. Time. Time is the only thing you do have. So look, y'all, I'm gonna get up off here. I know I ain't been on that long, but I really wanted to pop on and give that message because I think that a lot of the time people really think they need money. And I don't know another way to say this. You don't lack capital, y'all. You don't lack money. You lack information and taking action with the information. The information gonna come from you doing your due diligence. And taking action is just that. You got to take some action. You got to stop being a talker and start being a doer. Start getting this stuff done. Even if you're getting stuff done wrong, it's okay. You're going to learn how to do it the right way. That's the part that's scary. And as you have already heard me say once before, you only got to get wealthy once. You only got to get wealthy once. You can be rich and go broke. You can be in the middle class and go broke. You can be poor and stay poor. You only need to get wealthy once. At that point, it's game over because you got the know-how. Once you got the know-how, it's game over. Can't nothing stop you unless you're not on this planet. It just is what it is, y'all. So, 400 last week. A lot of people, I think, a lot of times when people come into the lives, for the most part, when it be a lot of people on one specific platform, they just be trolls, y'all. They just be that. When I'm on multiple platforms, people spread across because I think between all 6 lives right now, I think we are up to we're up to 750 people. So it could be that people are spread it out too, but it don't matter to me. I like it when it's like this. And the reason why is because you got people here that's probably really listening. People really here taking notes. And that's cool too. Because that's what it's about. And it's less distraction for me too. Because sometimes, I entertain these folks, and I'm sure that's what you waiting on, some shenanigans to happen. So, look, do your best, people, to start taking steps. Do your best to start taking action. Start realizing you're going to have to make this sacrifice. You're just going to have to. And if you don't find a way to make that sacrifice, it's a tough road ahead, y'all. Because life ain't getting no better. Appreciate your family. Life ain't going to get no better than what it is for you right now if you don't make that sacrifice. You're going to be in the same boat. You're going to be in the same boat, and it's unfortunate, y'all. Because the reality of it is you don't necessarily have to be that way. Think about that. So, look, y'all, I'm going to get up off here. In the meantime, y'all be good. I have fun being bad. And I'll see y'all on the other side of the sun.